So now I'm in the box, and it comes time to go to religious services to the chapel. Me and Hippie, we go over there to the chapel, and he went out one time to get cigarettes and came back with a mission. I believe that was his only encounter with the bros, or whoever it was that he spoke to. Made it very clear that we had a mission back at the house when he got back. By the way, he came back with no cigarettes. So here we are, we go in the chapel from the box. We go over to the chapel, and I guess the bros was meeting up there, and I get to see the bros for the first time. I get to see the person that set out the order. He was I don't know if he was an Ecuadorian or Salvadorian kid, South American guy. I never caught his name. So he's just sitting there, barely gave me and Hippie recognition, and didn't even bring us cigarettes and some sort of protection, knowing that what we was facing in the box. And yeah, so I had to make that very clear that my first encounter with the bros in that building was not a happy one. Nevertheless, we took that mission. We did our box time, and now it's time to go back into population. So now I go back into population. I never see Hippie again, nor Bulldog. I will see Hippie again, but not in a jail setting, in the street. And I don't know the house I was in, but it was all the way at the end. Now, I'd have been in one house, and it wasn't much of a view. But it's right away, there was a red homie there that I recognized prior when I was in C95. And his name was Preem. He was the one that had took a mission in C95 and declined it right in the middle of while he was ready to perform the act. And it costed him. He got ran out of C95 because of it. So now I see him in the Beacon, and I'm in his house. He doesn't look too thrilled to see me because he kind of knows the drop that I have on him. But it wouldn't be long until I get this call into the cell, into his cell. And there were a couple other red homies in there. There was 3 red homies in there, actually. And there was this other homie, Preem. So 4 altogether. They called me over to his cell. I go in there. Preem just got this real scared look on his face. So one of the red homies, the big bald brother, real big brother kid, and he goes over to me and he goes, "Yo, was you with this guy in C95? And I'm stunned, and I'm like, oh snap, you know, like, how did they know this? You know, like, it just happened, you know, like. So I was like, yeah, I know him. He was like, was he banging over there? Was he doing his thing? Was he repping? And I'm like, yeah, he was cool, you know, he was repping. They just looking at me like, and I see Preem, he's scared to death, you know? And he was like, all right. So I left. Minute later, you hear the noises. He came out leaking. I don't know if he got poked or cut, or he just got caught a beat down where, you know, it caused him to bleed. But he came out leaking and he left. That was my first incident there that I witnessed, that I knew, like, listen, there's something going on here in this building. Then an escape happened. Now, this escape happened in C73, excuse me. And supposedly, an inmate was working at the mess hall. And as he was dumping the garbage in the back, probably always supervised, somehow he managed to go under the radar, hide inside one of the garbage bins. Knew exactly when the truck was coming. And the truck took them well off of Rikers Island. Once it was obvious that there was an escape, everybody got locked down. It felt like I was keep lock all over because that lockdown lasted about maybe a day and a half. You could look out the window and see them actually canvassing, looking under every rock, every crevice. They had the boats outside. Uh, they literally had every rookie, every trainee, everybody from the academy. Everybody was going through Rikers Island Yard, looking under everything. And we were locked down. The weapon of choice in the Beacon is the undetectable razor. Now, one thing about the Beacon is it is so high rank, holds so high classification. That's why it's called the Beacon. That they was frisked there every day. Every day, sometimes 2, 3 times a day. The squad will go up in there. Everybody's in their shells. Sometimes in the middle of an activity. Sometimes in the middle of a movie. Sometimes in the morning. Sometimes in the night. All random. You could not clock the schedule of when the squad, the turtles, was going to go run up in there. Yes, and these were the turtles. These wasn't trainees going up in there searching through your stuff. These were helmets and shields. The only jail, period, in the state, in the city, or anywhere else in the county that I have ever encountered such a high level shakedowns. They go in there, go through your mattress, go through your stuff, go through your letters, take soles out your shoes. I mean, straight violation. Oh, if you didn't know, the strip searches that come with that also. So you're literally getting strip searched 2, 3 times a day on a daily basis. This was the Beacon. So those bone crushers couldn't really fly in the Beacon like they were in C95. So you had to have something a little bit smaller, more concise, more concealable. So I finally got my hands on some protection. The only problem was that every single day we will get searches and you had to really be a step ahead of the game. So what I ended up doing was, I mean, I know there's a limit to what I can say on this without crossing some type of lines, but in order for the people to get a full understanding of what was going on, I just have to just come out straight out and say it. All right? So I had my stuff wrapped around in the fingers of a food handling glove. I would lube it every single night and put it up my rectum halfway. Kind of train myself to move on impulse. When I hear the squad or coming, you can hear boots. Even though they try to be quiet, they could only be but so quiet. You hear the cells clinging, you hear keys, you would know that the squad is coming up in there. Happen in the night, it happens in the morning, in the days. You just gotta be ready. You had to have your shit cheeked. If you don't know what cheek means, it's between your ass crack. But cheeking is not enough when you're getting searched in a cell. So it has to go in. So sometimes you don't want to get in a situation where you're gonna get caught without it. So I literally had to sleep every night that I was there with it halfway in and halfway out with a natural impulse to reach over and slide it in once I hear them coming. Every day. So this one time, this incident happened where everybody got locked down. I didn't know it then, but at the time, the next house over, the A side, the other side, they went up. The house rang off. And at the center of it was the Kings, the Red Homies, and the Muslims. Everybody's locked in. I don't know this at the time. Couple hours, another search. This time, it was in me. Upon us getting unlocked, after the incident happened, I went to the phone. I look over. Nobody's at the door. Everybody's trying to figure out what happened. I go directly to the phone. It was hanging. So I go to the phone. I call home. He's like, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, I couldn't call you earlier because, we were locked down, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, in that booth, I get rocked. Same guy that ran out Preem, he came after me now. Yeah, they knew Preem folded in 95. Yeah, and they know we was in that house running out them bros too. I mean, the ops. So now I'm getting stunted on. I come out, throw my hands up, pretty much thumping. I'm getting surrounded now. Police come, whoop, yank me up out of there. Like, yo, what's going on? Well, you gotta go from the house, man. You can't be here. Like, I go over to the reception area. Again, I see this Spanish sergeant. He's like, you in danger? Do you want to sign in? They go through all of that. You like, no. All right. So they put me in another cell. In another house. That same day. Mind you, this isn't one day. I get stunted on the phone after a riot happened next door. Now I'm taking a trip to the reception area. Refuse whatever PC, whatever they had for me, which was nothing. Sent me back. Now they say that the Beacon is like the Roach Motel. Once you check in, you cannot check out. You don't check out. Some people get stuck in there. And believe me, it's true. So here I am in my second house. My house over there was going to go to the store. Now this house is going to go to the store as well. So I go to the store with this house. Mind you, I've only been in the house maybe an hour. My cell is on the ground level. So I come back from the store with the house. I'm looking around trying to find out what's going on. I don't see any bros, maybe nietas, but I noticed it was a Muslim house. So I come back to the house and I see funny movement. They're looking at my bag. They know it's been ringing off. They're looking at my bag. I see the red homies and the bloods talk. The red homies and the Muslims talking, plotting. In the Beacon, this house was one of those claustrophobic houses as well. There was no view. So they had the stairs as soon as you come in going up to the second tier and around. So they were discussing on the top tiers, looking down. I felt like I was in a cockfighting arena. I see them looking down. Now, I'm like, I got this shit in me, man. I gotta pull this shit right off. Gotta pull it out. But I don't have it in me. It's in me. I don't have So I hear somebody go, yeah, we're going to step to that when we get back. Now I'm like, okay. Now I know it's another rumble. It's nothing new already. I already know I'm in a shit show. So I'm in the cell in the flats. And right next to my cell is this, I gotta say, it's a white boy. And he's a Muslim. And he has long hair, kind of like Fabio. Muslims pull him. He must have been the weaker link. They put him on a mission now. Yo, you gotta step to that, blah, blah, blah. Now, to get the picture right, the cells open in the Beacon every hour on the hour. You cannot go in your cell within that time unless it's an emergency. So every hour they lock them out for like 10, 15 minutes and then they lock the cells back out. If you're not out, then you're locked in your cell. So I had my bag leaning right in front of my cell door. Actually leaning on the cell door. And the guys that I see that they're gonna put him on a mission, he's my neighbor, but he's acting edgy. So I see the movement was going on. I'm like, here we go again. So I went up under. I did something that nobody should ever do in a situation like this. I went up under the stairs. There's the stairs that go up and there's like this little area, like under the stairs, maybe like a utility closet or something. And I went under the stairs, which my bag is in front of my cell. And I put my hands in my pocket. Right now, I am pulling off the first line of defense, which is the bluff. I'm trying not to panic. This guy sees me under the stairs in the dark. Now, everybody's wondering what the hell's going to go down. That was the perfect opportunity for me to pull out the ox and do what I got to do. But it's inside me. So the tension's high. I'm just here holding my cool. I don't see no bros. I don't even really think I seen any nietas, to be honest. This was a straight red homie and Muslim house, with the exception of the white boy with the kufi. The door's open, and I see him looking at my bag. I take a step closer, and I tense up, and I folded him. I hear somebody from the top going, go ahead, man, grab it, grab it. So through that pressure, he tried to grab it. But when he grabbed it, I grabbed it right behind him, and I caught him. Boom. When I caught him, that kind of it put him on an imbalance. He kind of felt now that shit is real, so now he got to put his hands up. And I'm fighting this dude with one arm. The other arm has the bag. Again, I'm getting surrounded. Police sees the movement, runs up in there, and gets me up out of there. But this one was different because this black American female officer had took me in the when you first come in, the little hallway, and she puts her elbow up on my neck. And she's like, what? You want to follow a piece of shit? And she smacks me dead across the face. When she smacks me across the face, I guess she had another officer there. Her partner was a Spanish guy. I see the look on his face, like he knew I just got violated there. She smacks the shit out of me. She got me in some crazy chokehold. Mind you, she's mad short, but I ain't trying to ring off on this officer. They go up in there, they get me out. I'm like, yo, give me my bag. She's like, she grabs my bag like, get your shit off your fucking bag. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'll give you the bag later. It'll follow you, just like that. Going to the reception area all over again. My property follows me all over again. But one thing is missing. My stuff, my commissary. This bro then took my commissary and gave it to the population after I done fought for that shit. For all I know, she was rooting for them from the beginning because it was ringing off. There was already a couple of incidents. So now I'm a reception area. Same Spanish sergeant looks at me. You want to sign in? Your PC? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, no, and no. They put me into this other house. This isn't one day. Now I go to another house. This is why I can't remember the houses I was in. I go to another house. Another claustrophobic. No, this wasn't a claustrophobic house, actually. This was one of those with the view houses. And I go down there and I'm already like, you don't understand, you know? So I'm already like, you know? They're not going to get me to fucking fold, you know? So I run into this Nieta dude and he tells me, yeah, that has been going crazy. So now I'm waiting for the cell to open because I already know now that I'm going to get my stuff out and I'm going to splash something and I'm going to get up out of this building. Because at this point right now, it is dangerous. Why is everybody popping off? Because we got two of the biggest OGs in the building. We got Magoo and Dizzy and everybody else in the box. Everybody knows they're in there. Everybody's acting up. They're trying to get into the box and to see the OGs and to chat. It's a game. The bros that was on the A side think he went by the name of Trouble. There was other bros that had popped off too. The Low Library. There was a wall of defense going on. The Red Homies had big help from the Muslims because whether you want to give them their props or not, the Muslims is the most strongest organization in the state of New York. People think they got control of the jails, but nobody has more control of the jail than the Muslims. And they joined forces. They was using the mosque to spread the word and other things. We were on the defensive. Now I'm cut. Now they want to get me up out of there. I go to HDM next. These stories are facts to the best of my ability. And as best as I can remember situations, I'm trying not to say names. This is not a gang page. I am no longer a gang member. I'm just telling a story of what it was like for me entering Rikers Island for the first time as a Latin King in the mid-90s. Stay tuned, y'all. Check my next video. Thank you for watching.